Welcome to Snipisode 19 of the Daily Dose of DMC podcast. Today is Thursday, January 26, 2023, and I'm your host, HK. Good morning, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to another Daily Dose of DMC. It is Thursday morning. I really hope you guys are having a great week so far. It's absolutely beautiful. Not in the sense of the weather, but life in general. Life is absolutely beautiful. Every single day, we need to not take it for granted. We need to learn to really not take each day for granted, but to really appreciate it and show gratitude towards our lives, what we have, and appreciate what we don't have to move forward and have progress. So I really just want to ask you guys, how are you doing? Yeah, and don't just tell me good. Don't just think in your heads that I'm doing great, I'm doing good. I really just want you to take a moment, press pause, do a short mental reflection on how you actually feel. Maybe some of you this Thursday morning, you feel overloaded, you feel annoyed, you feel frustrated from whatever the cause may be. Maybe others of you are currently inspired, you're happy, you're gleaming with that positive energy, you're really just shining bright. Whatever it is, just press pause now for 30 seconds and reflect on that. And just let me know. Hit me up if you want to share. I'd love to know. I'd love to know how you guys feel and what you're doing, your thoughts as well, thoughts on this. Just do that. That said, guys, thanks for listening in. And as always, if you're listening on YouTube, comment below, leave some thoughts, hit the like button, kindly subscribe. I really appreciate that. If you're listening to this elsewhere, like on Spotify or Google Podcasts, then really appreciate you guys tuning in as well. Like I said yesterday in yesterday's episode, hit the follow button and you'll get notified each morning when the Snipisodes are released Monday to Friday, every day at 8 a.m. And feel free to share with family or friends if you find these have been helpful. So let's just kick off today, this Thursday morning. We talked about procrastination. We've talked about stopping negative thoughts. Yesterday was some thoughts about getting back to nature because of that walk through the woods that I did. And today I just want to dive into what was originally an older blog post of mine, and I just want to really gnaw and grind through that little bit of personal wisdom, because I think that ties in nicely with what DMC is, especially the C, which is commitment. And it also ties in nicely with how we started the week when we started talking about procrastination. And if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to that Snipisode yet, jump back to Monday's Snipisode and have a listen about procrastination. It is a bit longer, but again, just listen in. You'll see how it ties in nicely to what I want to talk about today, which is commitment is inspiration through hard work. Just give that some thought. Commitment is inspiration through hard work. And this is an older blog post, and I just want to kind of adapt it a little bit for today's Snipisode. You see, at the time that I wrote this blog post, it was about, I had a conversation with someone who came to me and said something along the lines of, I can't do what I need to do because of something or someone else. I don't recall 100% what that something was at that time. I maybe should have written down. Not relevant for the Snipisode, not relevant for the post, but I do remember thinking to myself at that very moment how disappointing of an attitude that person has to not realize, albeit of the situation, the opportunities that lie ahead of them, and that they just need to press forward. So ultimately in that conversation, I simply said, look, you got to stop complaining, you got to grab that opportunity. Look at what's ahead of you. Even if there's a couple hurdles, jump them and keep running. Do that dash right there. Anyways, that's what kind of gave me a spark at that time to think about this, writing this post, and for me to think about all the opportunities that I've had and continue to have. When I just look back at the last 2 decades, all the opportunities that I've had, that I've built and created and worked for and put effort into. And it's just something that I'm very thankful for. And it ties into that being committed. And then, that commitment is actually that inspiration of where you want to go. And then you got to put in that effort and that hard work into it. So just think about that. So, because to me, when I look at especially society today, and all of us, people in general, we love complaining. We see the faults in everything. It doesn't take much to see faults and even put Band-Aids over them, thinking we can fix them just like that. But that's not how you fix the issue. You got to go into the root cause. However, it does take a lot of effort and a damn bit of work to get where you want to go. And I've often noticed that how people in my environment take things for granted, especially in the corporate environment. When people are afraid of change or afraid of transformation, or when things don't go the way a certain team or organization or whatnot wants it to go, and people just love finger pointing at who else is wrong except at themselves when it comes to others achieving, if you get what I'm saying there. And I just find this is such a poor attitude. Especially it's a poor, extremely poor thought pattern. I'm a very competitive person at all things. I've mentioned this to you guys in past Snipisodes, but not at all costs. Yet to me, it's one of the most joyous things that I've learned now over the last decade, over the last years. One of the most joyous things for me is when I can really help and really advance other people by any means. And I don't mean like bribing somebody to take somebody for, that's not what I'm talking about, but really to be able to bring myself in, my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, and really help people if I can help them. Whether it's at job, in their professional career, whether it's in life or something personal. I just love doing that. I love helping people altruistically, without what we've discussed in the past, without that thing in the back of my head saying, okay, what personal gain do I get out of this? And I really don't care about the credit. If it's noticed or if it's not recognized, I don't give. Because to me, the joy comes in seeing others now advance and succeed at the goals that they set out for themselves. People that were acquaintances and become good friends, mentees that I work with, these people I really want to succeed. And I think those people also notice when you're authentically working with them, talking with them, the way you interact. And that to me is so important, because achieving, like I said, is not something that should come at all costs. It's something that comes through commitment at something. It's building something from nothing. That to me is the pure joy of achievement. And that comes through hard work. And I'm not going to go into like networking and having connections and whatnot. So that to me is like in a nutshell of what it is. I've had my share, of others trying to sell me for naive, and oftentimes I don't mind playing along. And I think I do that quite smartly. It's a good mix of like book and street smarts, and you got to have that. Sometimes, a little bit of, as arrogant as I guess it may sound, it doesn't mean that I don't seek inspiration or my slice of commitment to work hard in achieving either. My motto is always let people think what they want to think of me. But what you got to learn, and this is something I've learned, is if you really don't give a crap, if you really don't give a shit about what others think, and we've talked about this a little bit as well, what the difference is between accepting advice, having a conversation, what compromise is. But if you learn to not really give a shit, then you're already one step ahead of a lot of other people, of all those finger pointers who are always saying something else is wrong, all those complainers who always blame everything else or everyone else for not having success. See, because I believe that everyone has their opportunities, and those opportunities need to be created. Remember our talk on an abundance mindset? That's what it is. And then ultimately, you need to commit to that. No one else takes that away. Even if in that situation or scenario, it may look like that. You may not get that promotion that you thought you deserved. You may have lost that last soccer game that you think you should have won. You may not have made an A on that exam you studied so hard for. But it's how you commit to each of those successes and each of those failures that will make you move forward. I know I've learned commitment the hard way. Inspiration you can find everywhere, in a lot of places. My family, friends, things I see others achieve, that greatness that I want to achieve, what I define as success for myself now. But and I love what I do on a day-to-day basis. But like I said, a lot of that inspiration is seeing others in my vicinity succeed. Just yesterday I had a conversation with someone who is what I consider now a good friend, and we were discussing ways to potentially take something that he's extremely passionate about and chew through kind of the business aspect of it. And he's got a lot of commitment, a lot of vision, a lot of inspiration, and he really wants to make this work. And it's a very niche, very scientific field. It's something that I think has a lot of potential in a certain area. And he's willing to put in that hard work. And seeking that conversation with myself, knowing that I won't be judgmental about it, those are the things that inspire me when I see people in their dedication of wanting it so bad to succeed. Because I've also had those opportunities. I've walked a little bit of that path, and now I can help others do the same. I've had family members who do that. So what I basically want to say here is, when it comes to hard work, you got to take that commitment that you get from something that inspires you, and really put in the effort. There are no shortcuts. So stop complaining, stay committed, and just work hard. You got to really just utilize your head to think positively. That's what we're all about here. Think positively about others, about your environment, your interactions, no matter how rough it may be, even today on this Thursday. Rather than trash talking about others, think positively. Remember, it's not about opportunities. It's about creating opportunities. I want you to tie that in with the title of this Snipisode. It's not about opportunities. It's creating opportunities. Let's have a discussion with that if you want to. Hit me up. That being said, guys, stay dedicated, motivated, committed all day, every day.